everybody. Welcome back to our virtual laboratory. My name is Dean Rainier Perez, and this is our recipe number 5, which is apple pie. Alright, in the last recipe we did our pecan pie. We will use the exact recipe for our pie crust. And today I'm just going to go ahead and teach you how to do the apple pie filling and how to do a double pie crusted type of pastry. So we will start with our apple pie filling. Alright, so we have a heavy bottom pan over here. This is actually my favorite to use. What I'm going to do first is to melt our butter. Melt our butter. Okay. And then to that I will be adding up our white sugar. Alright. Just waiting for the butter to fully melt. Okay, I'm just melting up the butter here. I hope you can see it in the video. Once I'm happy and saw that most of the butter compounds have already been melting, I will add our apple juice. Apple juice will intensify the apple flavor, of course, of our dish today. Okay. Speed that up and wait for it to actually boil down. Look at that. So we're okay. It's all melted. It's time for us to add our apples. I just sliced some apples. I actually use around 4 to 5 pieces of apples. I'm gonna put it all in there. And then making sure that it is well coated. I don't want to really cook this down in such a way that it's like mashed apple. I just like to go ahead and heat it up a little bit because in my pie, I like it a little bit more on the crispier side rather than on the tender side. When that's heated up, I'm gonna add my mixture of cornstarch and sugar. This will act as a binder or a thickening agent. A thickening agent for our apples because we do not want it runny like this. We want it a little bit on the thickened side. So we will wait until the sauce actually thickens. Alright, so in the recipe, wala naman siya sinasabi to add cinnamon, but my personal preference is to add parang 1 teaspoon of cinnamon because in apple pies, I like it a little bit tasting like Christmas. Alright, so I added a little bit of cinnamon in there. So let's wait for this to thicken up. Right, so our sauce has thickened. Look at that. This is exactly what we want. Look at that beautiful thickening here. Okay, we will lower down the heat. All right, and wait for it to caramelize a little bit more, and then we're ready to put it in our pie crust. Look at that. Very thickened, very thick. All right, we're done. we have prepared the same exact pie crust that we did with the pecan pie. And this is the lower portion of our pie crust. So what you need to do is to put holes. You can also use your fork, but I don't have a fork here right now. So I'm using this to puncture the lower bottom of our pie crust. Alright. This is so that it could breathe while baking in the oven later on, so it will not puff up. Okay. So that's ready. And what we're doing now is to slightly cooling down our pie filling because we don't want it too piping hot when we put it in the pie dough. So we'll wait for that to cool a little bit. Waiting for it to cool down, let me roll the top part of our pie crust. Now I'm just making sure that it is in the ball position, and then I will put it in the disc position. So this is a very forgiving dough, so if you see cracks in it, you can just tap it and it will be back to its normal condition. So it's very forgiving. Okay. Make sure that are properly dust off so that it doesn't stick. Okay, and you turn it a little bit. Alright. See, I see cracks. I just pat it down. So, our apples are done, our pie crusts are done, it's ready to assemble. Right, so it's time for me to fill up our pie crust with the pie filling. I am going to be a little generous with the filling because we all want that apples to really shine in this dish. Okay. Right, and try to spread it throughout the whole pie. So every slice later on will be filled with that apple filling. Look how it is right now. Very good. So what I'll do now is to, actually you can roll it just using your hands here, slowly and gently into a log. Lift it, put it there, and you actually need to put it back in. Alright. Slowly. And there you have it. You have a covered up pie that's ready for crimping on the side. Okay? Closer. What I'll do here is I'm just going to tuck it inside. I'm going to tuck in, hanapin. Okay? Because we want all the dough to... When I'm eating apple pie, I usually want a little thick of the the pie crust. I would like to eat the pie crust also with the filling. That's in that sense that I eat enough pie crust just so to not overwhelm with the taste of the filling. So don't worry if it looks a little bit messy at this stage because it's really a rustic type of pie. Sure that it's covered. What I'll do is this, okay, to give it a little design on the edge. I'm just using my 2 fingers there. And again, this is a very forgiving pie crust. If you made a mistake, you can just patch things up, right? No baggage. All right. Again, it looks really rustic at this point, and I kind of like it that way. Alright, so that's our pie. Okay, what I'll do now is to create slits. Very sharp knife. Don't miss this step, guys, because this will actually be very important so that the steam will actually be released while working para hindi siya pumutok in the oven. Alright? It's important that you have this crisp. There you go. And then we will brush it off with egg wash. This is just plain eggs, so as to have a golden texture when we actually bake. Okay, once we finish coating it with egg, we actually put a little bit of sugar on top. Yes, so that we will have a good caramelization when it is in the oven. Alright, so now guys, this is ready for the oven, 195 degrees Celsius for roughly about 25 to 30 minutes. There you have it, kids. This is our baked apple pie. It is best served warm with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Thank you very much for watching, and this has been Dean Rainier Perez, your instructor for He2 Bread and Pastry. See you again next video.